Testing, testing. One, two,
Two,
three.
three.
Okay, so we're recording over here.
The book can't be upside down.
I'm gonna keep all the bloopers just in case. She...
Boop.
Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. We're not so bootleg this time. Okay. My little introduction here. Welcome to Cru Conversations, where softness speaks, stories matter, and healing has a mic. Got a little mic?
Yes.
So today we're pulling up with something tender and timeless. Friendship. The real kind. The long haul. The kind that we don't talk every day, but I still love you deep. That kind. This episode is for the ones that have grown with us, drifted and returned, and help us become more of ourselves.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about. All right. So this episode we're gonna call Friendship, the bond, the break, and the becoming. That's the name. I got my little notebook because we try to get our little episodes in when we can. So we're gonna start with a little wine. We got us a little wine.
Clink, clink, clink.
Cheers to friendship. That's good. Okay. So today I have a long, isn't it?
No.
I'm trying not to get
so
distracted.
Go
A long term friend, Shontae. That's her real name. I won't say my name. How she saved in my phone. And then when I was thinking about like the episode, I was like, in what's her last name?
Right.
Because
Right. For so long.
I get it. I don't never say a last name. It's just that particular name. It's a good name. It's a good name. So let's see where we want to start. Let's start like how we know each other, how long we've known each other, and stuff like that.
Want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. So our story, where does it begin? Pratt Elementary. Okay. Which is only literally a few blocks, from where we're sitting right now. But we're talking about pigtails. We're talking about playground.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We're talking about second, third grade, possibly even before that, right? How long I've known this young lady. So we go way back, like through time. So that's how long we have known one another. Same elementary school, middle school, high school, all the way through college experience, all the way through weddings. This is my girl, So that's what I would say to that.
Yeah, so I'm trying to put this other little camera on video.
Mm-hmm.
One of those relationships that you don't remember meeting, because I can't tell you a time that we actually met. I have no real idea when we met, but we have been friends through all seasons of life.
Literally.
All seasons of life. Let me see. Let's talk about a favorite memory that we might have together. It could be way back when, or I don't have anything written down because
what just comes to me like right away in my head, I could just hear laughter. Right, we have laughed about so many instances,
serious and unserious,
and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I just know when I think of this relationship, it's always been light and fun. Not that we haven't traveled through difficult, but it is synonymous with fun. So if I'm gonna call somebody or send somebody a meme, it's gonna be this one.
Yeah.
And she's gonna know exactly what I'm talking about, can go back to the exact memory. And I know, even though I might be in another state, she's cracking up just like I'm cracking up. So let's see, favorite memory. It might take me a minute.
For me, some of my favorite times with Shontae is traveling on the road.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna listen to India Ari. We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna listen to
Mm-hmm.
Jill Scott and
Right.
sing our hearts out. That's
Right.
some of my favorite
Mm-hmm.
memories.
Same.
Just
Same.
traveling.
Same. I can go with that for sure.
Yeah, we definitely
And
have
Brandy.
Brandy.
Shout out to Brandy.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Brandy. You know what? I don't even think I listened to her that much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what do you think has held the friendship through transitions and what didn't?
What has held a friendship through transitions, I
Like
think,
life
is
transitions.
consistency, right? History and consistency, right? Because no matter what life may have thrown, we're going to be there, right? Whether it be um, a happy moment, something we're celebrating. It could be um, my 40th. It could be something, a birthday party for my mom, my sister's graduation party. I can look up and know if it's going to be there. She's going to stop through. I don't care if she has a conflict. I don't care if there's something going on. She's going to stop through. She's ingrained in my family. My family knows, who
Yeah.
you are. It's just like a constant,
Right.
So that's what I would say to that. And then what was the second part?
And what didn't?
So read the whole question again.
What held the friendship together through
And what didn't?
transitions and what didn't?
So we don't get deep. What didn't, if there was a didn't, it would be sometimes just allowing life to impede the communication, right? And actually, I'm going to put the weight on my end, right? Because I'm probably the one that, and now that I'm getting older and maturing, I can see where some of these genetic things come into play. That I think, and I'm gonna hit those that may see this that know me personally. I'm gonna hit you with something. I think I actually get that from my father. Now that I've gotten older, because he retreats, he isolates, and as I've gotten older, I was like, this is where this is coming from.
Okay.
My mom, extrovert, right? She gonna call you. I'm surprised she hadn't called you. She's gonna call. My father, without getting too deep in the weeds, has gone through a thing where he isolates, and as I'm processing that, I realize, okay, there have been times, even without excuse, I don't care if it was for having younger kids or career or marriage, where I have like not been the best communicator. And so that's what I would say would be the one thing is probably my lack of engagement.
Yeah.
Would be the thing that was the inconsistent piece of it, or the thing that may have impeded the growth of the relationship.
For me, I would say one of the things, because there could be a number, but one of the things that I feel held the friendship through life transitions is friendships like this become more than friends. So I'm a part of the family, you're a part of the family. So even if we're not talking about all of the things, we're still family. You know what I'm saying? So we're still going to show up when we need to show up.
Absolutely.
That's what I feel like.
Absolutely.
Held it together. And what I would say didn't, I feel like when the roles changed and you were the one where you little ones and I was not, then it was just different. So,
and then
you
with
live
me
and learn.
Walking that out and processing that, not finding the moments, let's say the kids are quiet and like, this might be a moment, let me FaceTime, or I just fall asleep. I'm just listen. When you know, I just fall asleep. And here's another day that I haven't reached out. And those days sometimes can become weeks, and not be transparent, sometimes months, And so I'm thankful for a sisterhood that says, I don't like you right now.
Yeah.
But I love you and I'm going to have grace for you.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to call you, but I'm going to call you. Because I'm being obedient, right? And I just know I'm supposed to check on you.
And look, this
so
is
it is
like the next question says, what went unsaid? And that's what.
See, I know.
For me, like, I'm not about to call her because she got little kids. I had little kids, and I was like, you remember them conversations? Like the ears were getting bigger, and we were like, somebody listening.
Right.
So it's just a living. You learn, and you have to. Even though, I might not like you, you have to learn how to give people grace, right? And so I think that that's another thing that probably held the friendship together. Definitely was grace, because we have so many transitions and so. But then when I was, trying to figure out some of the things to talk about, one of the things that came to me is we were friends before we really even knew who we were.
That's true.
And see, I deal with that a lot now. It's like I'm learning a lot about myself more as I've gotten older. So I can't really hold a lot of people accountable because we're all different.
Right.
So I really do think that,
just to give a technical pause. Yeah, we checking something out.
Girl, that's trying to get us to upgrade. We're not gonna upgrade. As long as we still recording here.
You can do your edits.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I saw
they
that
trying
box.
to sell us something.
We don't want
like a free app, and it was like your free trial is
up.
Don't want it. We don't. No. As long as
busy.
Can you see us?
We're busy.
So, how you're different now, and how you stayed the same? I'll drink
how
to
am
that.
I different now, and how have I stayed the same? I think I've stayed the same. And just I think my personality, the core of who I am, I feel like is gonna always be the same. Most people that run into me, they may not have seen me since middle school. They're like, you just the same, same Shontae. How I've changed is I've learned to accept, no, not even accept. I've learned to build up of I don't care about how other people might perceive me now.
Yeah.
Well, before I may have been trying to mold to fit to this, mold to fit to that.
I can see that. A little people pleasing.
Oh gosh, yes. So that's what I would say to that.
Yeah,
that's what I would say to that.
I feel like I'm the same, in a lot of ways, but I'm different in a lot of ways. I feel like I'm softer around the edge. If that makes sense. I used to be I'll fool with you. You said that to me. I don't like you. I don't want no new people. I think I've softened the edges, or they softened me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I feel like I'm the same me. I'm just a little bit softer, and I'm a little bit more empathetic.
So in hearing you say that, ironically, I'm one of those I process. So you'll see as you answer, I go, oh yeah, like it's a delayed. I would say I've toughened up, right? Where you may have needed to soften, I may have needed to become more firm and let my no be my no, not, but maybe I can help, no, I'm unavailable, right?
Definitely.
I'm unavailable. And learning my limitations as opposed to trying to help everyone or be all things to all people.
Right. And see, that's one of the things I teach in the grief class, the power of no. And you can't do it, and you don't got it. And what I mean by that is I don't even have the energy for me right now. Right. So I don't have anything to give to you. So, a part of this podcast I've been saying is pouring more into myself and doing the things that I want to do for me. I don't have a audience like that, but it's for me. So yeah.
And in that, doing that for you, just that obedience, you never know the person on the other side, the person out there who you are being a complete blessing to, or who you're inspiring to do the same, So
I'm trying to think,
proud of you.
What part of me do you see now that maybe I forget to see in myself?
What part of you do I see now
that maybe I don't see, or maybe I need reminding?
That you are enough and that you have everything that you need within you right now.
Okay. I feel like with you, I feel the same, that you are enough, and I feel like you just need to do it.
That's good. That's a word.
You know what I mean? You just need to do it. And sometimes, just like from part of what my pastor was saying was sometimes we have this safety net. And the people that don't think that they ever gonna fall, they don't even have a net. So it's like now I'm in my do it season, and I don't need the naysayers
Mm-hmm.
don't matter, or
Mm-hmm.
the people that don't understand,
Mm-hmm.
or why do you do? Well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just doing what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. That's
So
good. That's good.
yeah, what has my friend taught you about love?
So, what have you taught me about love?
Mm-hmm. Being my
Mm-hmm.
friend.
And so, we're talking about just love in general.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. What have you taught me about love? That love is demonstration. And so, what I mean by that, one thing I've learned about you and watching you over the years, familiar relationships, family, you know, male female relationships, that sort of thing, is that when you love, you are in and you demonstrate and you go all out for. And so I've watched that over the years in this way. So I kind of may be more passive. You know what I mean? Like, of course, me being married, my husband, I love him. You know what I mean? But you have a way, I feel like, in watching you, so with family and friends relationship, that you create experiences. Maybe that's what I was going to say. You
Yeah.
create experiences. So
Yeah.
you demonstrate love in such a way that I think is a total blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And I admire that. You know what I mean? So that's what I would say. One of the things that you taught me about love is that love is demonstration, whether it be through food. The girl can cook. Okay. I'm putting it out there. She can cook. Okay. So that's a love language, whether you have kind of realized it or walked into it, that's a love language. And so when you do that, even if it's a brunch for girlfriends, you know what I mean? You're going to put love into it, from the way it's set up to the ingredients and the time it took to prepare. And so that's what I would say to that.
Yeah, for me, I would say that love is love. It just don't need no explanation, don't need no frills. It's just love. You know what I'm saying? I know that. And sometimes we get caught up in a feeling.
Right. Right.
And I think that kind of messes us up, where I don't feel like you love me. But
That's
when you
not a
know,
feeling.
you know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think
Right.
that's where I get from you.
So let's go back and then let's reciprocate the question. Being my friend, is there anything that you've learned or that you've observed or been taught about love? Okay, say it again.
Yeah. Say it again. That love don't need frills.
Got it.
It doesn't have to be this fleeting feeling. Like when you know somebody loves you, they just love you.
I got you.
And that's it.
Awesome. I got you.
So let's see. What are you most excited about in this next chapter of life? Or this chapter?
Doing it even if I'm scared. Doing it afraid. Not putting limits on God, right? Not putting him in my box.
Right.
Or feeling like it has to come a certain way. The way I want it, right?
A way that's familiar.
A way that's familiar, man. That thing keeps coming up. The way that's familiar. So I'm just excited. I'm excited about where we are, where I've seen our growth is now. And then the faith that we're walking in, because I know with that is where we can be catapulted,
right?
Even further than we thought we could in our own strength. So I'm excited. I'm excited about reconnecting,
right?
Because even within our story, there has been some disconnect, over the years. So I'm excited about, girls' trips. I'm excited about celebrating launches of, businesses and podcasts, that are blowing up. I'm excited about all of these things.
Yeah. So. And I'll say, like, with the reconnection, there was no bad, nothing bad, just life busyness and just taking us to different directions. And I really feel like what you're saying, do it now, do it scared, because that's a word I got from God about all of the things that I'm doing, the book and the grief support group. It was like, do it anyway, do it scared. Ain't nobody watching, do it. It don't matter, do it. And so that's where I am and doing it. What's something we have not done together but we should? Other than a podcast.
I know. Look, check that box. Check that box. And I'm a thinker. Can you go first on this one?
Let me think. Let's see. I don't know what we haven't done that I could say that I want to do other than go some
I was
places.
gonna say first it was like out of the country
Yeah,
or
like
something
go
like
some
that.
places, but like
Mm-hmm.
not something that I want to do, but other,
Mm-hmm.
I'm always down for a trip.
This is true. This is true.
So, I would say go some places
Mm-hmm.
together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see. I tried to write everything down
Mm-hmm.
so I wouldn't forget some stuff. Let's see. Do you think we would have stayed friends all this time if we had met now?
Mm-mm. And I don't mean it negative. I don't mean it negative. Like,
Mm-mm.
mm-mm.
What? What's wrong?
But then my in the second part of my mind was like, but why? So let me think about my why while I'm being silly, dog. Because that's probably not true. But no, I gotta stick with it, right? I said, so now I gotta stick with it. Hold on. Um, okay, so the first thing that comes to mind, if we met where we are now, adding on the time on the back end, just because the history would not have been there, right? We would already be like literally residing in different places. So I think demographic, right, would play a part in it, right? And then you take away the history, take away everything we've been together for, all the way from carrying car seats and try to go to the mall, all the things. So that was really it wasn't even really like a personality.
Yeah.
Because I think even though we're like drastically different, I think that's what makes the friendship awesome and unique though. And why I think we gel and we connect because it's a balance. It's a balance. But it wasn't like I don't want to be bothered. It's just like more of just those things that I think the building blocks that are already
and
there.
maybe because we're in different seasons as far as like you still
and
with the kids and stuff like that, and I'm like, yeah, no.
You don't want to be around no children. You don't want to come.
Ain't doing no children.
So those things, and that's why we both bust out laughing. I think I had to think about my why on the back end.
It was like that. I'm like, wait a minute. When do we need to cut it? No. Okay, talking about when we were a little bit disconnected because we still checked in all the time. What did you miss about me?
Your humor, the fact that you keep it 100. I'm just gonna say it. Just you in general. You know what I mean? I think, just who you are.
After you graduated from college and moved back into town, and then I moved in, we were inseparable. And we did everything together. That's we true. Dinner together. We went to church together. And so when you moved away, it was like, that was my person. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think like I was upset. Like, this is my person. And then, you had another life somewhere else. And I was like, what in the world? Right. So I think that's what it was. Right. We did so much together. True. We did everything together.
That's true.
We might be like, what we eating today? Right. we
just we went to church. Me back to a place in time.
We did everything together. Me, you, and them children.
We did.
Dinner, Bible study, church on Sunday, after church, then we did everything together. So it was, it was hard for me. So in a time I had an emergency, you were my person. So I was like upset when I couldn't get you on the phone, or when you was busy, or you was, I'm gonna call you back or something like that. I was upset because and then it was like I didn't have a person. Like, well, what?
That just hit me as even being brought back to that time. I'm like, you know what?
We did everything.
It's funny how time can and the mind works, right? But hearing you say that literally just brought me right back, to that place and time. So yeah, you're right.
Okay, so right. Who I become while being a mother. Let's talk about like your identity shift or sacrifice and self-discovery since being a mom.
Yeah, you become Summer, and we call my son Bubba. You become Summer and Bubba's mom. That's Summer's mom. That's David's mom. And in that, um, I've had to put a lot of the things that I personally enjoy on the back burner because now here comes this little person with soccer, this little person in volleyball, and then you become a teen mom. I'm getting snacks for other people's children.
Yeah.
It becomes like this, like you said, this whole shift.
Mm-hmm.
But they get older, and so now it's ironically enough, I'm in the season where my kids are tween and teen, so 10 and like 14, and so I can tell that evolution, like it's changing, it's shifting again. Well, now okay, I'm like, okay, one will be out of the house in 3 years. And I'm starting to kind of, okay, and another one will be busy enough to be out of the house enough.
Right.
So now, who is Shontae? What does this look like?
Exactly.
Finding out, okay, what do I now want to do?
Yeah.
What life I want to create with my husband, and then my own personal self journey.
Yeah, I talk to one of our friends about that all the time. Like, and she's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do.
It's a psychological shift.
Yeah.
So yes, and it just takes time. It takes pouring into, oneself, self-discovery things. Get out there and just gotta find out, okay, who am I now? Because the things I liked, 10, 15 years ago, some of those things I still like. So let me list one. I still, in the next couple years, I'm gonna start to do dancing again. Not to be on somebody's, stage. So I love a recital. I will get in front of a crowd, whether they like it or not. I'm coming. But seriously, because it was my outlet. It was a way I could be free, express myself, and it keeps you fit. It keeps you, strong.
But I'm gonna be rocking the heels in the 70s and stuff. I just plan on being a fly, older person.
Yeah. Same,
but for me, I feel like I did things kind of backwards and became a mother before I knew me. So in the process of me raising the kids, I raised me, and it's like then they moved away, and I'm like, oh well, I don't even know who I am. So I struggled with that for a long time. Like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, what is purpose in my life? I bought all kinds of self-help books, prayed, all kinds, and struggled with that. So now I feel like doing all of this is showing me who I am and giving me purpose just for me.
And I would say, just to go back to or an addendum to where I was going with it, is that it is literally that. It is a cycle, an evolution, and it's an ongoing thing. I think we'll always be in discovery of who we are. Definitely. And I'm with you. As I quickly approach 50, I decided within the last couple of weeks, I'm going to get myself together.
Because do you see your mom out there on TV dancing?
Right. My mom is a solid 68, and she's on the field doing line dances. Not just one. They go out the railroad park, and they're doing a full 30.
They in the city hall, the streets.
They are everywhere. They're Birmingham famous.
Yeah. So you think she about to outdo me?
Right.
No, ma'am. So yeah, I do think like in this age, it's a lot of time to rediscover, and it's always, where you can rediscover what you want to do or find things that you're interested in. Getting you a little TikTok era. Because at first I struggled, like, I don't want my kids to be embarrassed and stuff like that. But, I just do my own thing.
So I think what we're saying, what I'm hearing us say, common thread, is self-discovery is ongoing.
Definitely.
Right?
It's ongoing.
So what we might discover about ourselves in June of 2025 might be different by December of 2025. And that is okay. I think as long as we are open, discerning, God and where he's guiding us to, his plans and purposes, and the God that we serve is always calling us to a higher level. Right. Just when we thought we've made it, right? We think we've accomplished something, he's like, I have something else for you.
Yeah. And I wanted to say this. I always admired your faithfulness, and I feel like I pulled from that. because
Mm-hmm.
you grew up as a
Mm-hmm.
not a PK,
A
but
grand
a
PK.
grand PK. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? So
which is
you
very
grew up
similar.
like, and I didn't. I
Mm-hmm.
went to church, but
Mm-hmm.
it was just different.
Mm-hmm.
So I always pulled from that, and I
Mm-hmm.
always admired that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
now I'm like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
thank you, girl.
Yeah, but you are encouraging people and
Thank you, girl.
listen, speaking the word, love it.
Let's see. What part of yourself did you have to fight to stay alive since becoming a wife and a mother?
Mm. Part of myself that I have to fight to stay alive. Knowing that it's okay to prefer me over the little people, right? Over
Mm-hmm.
what they have going on. Um, Fight for self care, right? My own identity. It kind of comes back to fighting for your own identity when
Right.
children are a certain
Mm-hmm.
age, and I would dare to say for most mothers, you're in that fight all the way up until 18 and sometimes even through their college years, because then it becomes about them being successful
Yeah.
there. It's not necessarily my child is grown and by,
Yeah.
you're
It's
still
it's good that you're thinking about this now because
mm-hmm,
I don't think I even thought about it, even though I always prepare my
mm-hmm,
kids
mm-hmm,
to go further and to move and to
mm-hmm,
do. And when they did, like, I
mm-hmm,
was laid out. Like,
mm-hmm,
what?
mm-hmm,
Because I feel like I didn't find myself until now.
mm-hmm,
So my whole identity was wrapped up into their being their mom and
mm-hmm.
nothing else.
Right,
So I
right,
struggled like, what literally what who am I?
right.
So that took a long time to come up out of and to find me,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Absolutely.
because I feel like I from getting married young and having children young,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even have time to process me,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody told me
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that find yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
now I'm processing and loving on
Mm-hmm.
myself.
So he's gonna get. He
He
almost took
almost
a
got.
sip.
He almost got.
Oh, right. We have a net friend that's trying to attack our beverages.
Yeah. But
Attack our
anyway,
beverages.
let me see what else I got. I wanted to keep it short because I know
Mm-hmm.
you're short on time, but I do appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
Now this
That's
question is
wonderful.
going to be
Oh
a
boy.
good one.
Okay.
What's your main character song? Like, if it's a song that is all about you and you riding down the street, you gonna scream and sing, put it on repeat like 4 or 5 times. It's like your main character song.
So funny thing, I'm going to rephrase it. Well, I'm not going to rephrase it. This came to me during something for work. Let's say like an orientation. So you're in a room of people or a conference and they ask you, what do you hear in your head when you walk in the room? Can we say that's the similar?
Yeah,
Y'all want
yeah.
to know what it is? It's a brick house. Girl, the room went bananas. So you can really like, oh my God. And so
Uncle,
from that point
I
on, for
should
the
have
rest
said
of that
mine first.
conference, from the next 3 days when I walked in the room, they call me Brick House every time. Now this is a room of multi-ethnic right people. They just thought, but I'm so serious. Like that song is all about me anytime it comes on.
Girl, I was not, no, I was not
Okay,
prepared
I'm
for that.
sorry.
Oh my God.
And you probably wanted something inspirational, huh? Like this girl is on fire. Nope, it's
And
Brick
there was a
House.
little girl on fire. It's one of them.
See, I know
It's not mine
it's
though.
not gonna be a typical.
Mine is Private Party by India Irie.
I just heard that song. We were in the car and it came on. I said, "Dang, this is one of my favorite
It's one of my
songs."
favorite songs of
Mhm.
all times.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
definitely on my birthday.
Mhm.
It's my
Mhm.
favorite song.
Yes.
And I have so many because I feel like
Mhm.
depending on different moods, you might be in a gospel mood or
Mhm.
whatever, but Private Party is just like
I
this.
went
Just
heathen first.
yeah, you went heathen. You
I
went Brick
went
House.
heathen.
I wasn't even thinking about. Where
Let's
my
see, not
pen
right.
at? Let me write something else
But you
down.
know what? It gives you that like self, you know what I mean,
Hmm.
confidence, type of thing, So yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna close in a little bit, but I do want to talk about peace.
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is something that I feel like is so important.
Mm-hmm.
So for you, what does inner peace really look like day to day?
What leaps out of my spirit is the verse that says, "He will keep you in perfect peace." And I'm gonna kind of paraphrase: "If you keep your mind stayed on Him."
Mm-hmm.
So only when I immediately keep my mind on Jesus is inner peace truly achieved. Because if I tried any other way, I can woosah, I can put my essential oils on, my lavender on my neck, my body and bath work, stress relief, and I'm gonna lay there and my mind is gonna think of everything
Yeah.
that has me
Yeah.
stressed out. But it's when I think on the one that can relieve me of all of it that I truly have inner peace.
Yeah.
And it's a practice. I can do it in this minute and walk over the threshold, and like the way the mind works, the enemy's always gonna throw another dart. So I always have to remind him
Yeah.
who gives me peace in the midst of my
Mhm.
storms and trials.
Yeah. See, mine is the peace that, how do you say, that
Passes understanding.
surpasses understanding. Because I feel like people in general may know your story and think you should crash out. But because you have peace, they don't understand that.
Right.
Like this piece
And they
right
almost
here.
get frustrated because you
See,
you
and that's
don't
what I
fit
have.
what they
Like
thinking of
that's
it
what
look
I
like.
have. That it's so misunderstood or intimidating, and they're upset with you because you. And that's kind of the season that I'm in. Like I'm just in this little peaceful bubble, and I'm trying to show people like I can forgive, but that doesn't mean reconciliation. Like I'm just done, right? So I'm gonna say my no. I'm not engaging,
Right.
and I'm choosing what I allow in my space, right? So this everything that I'm doing is work.
I want you to read those again for the people in the back.
Boundaries that protect your peace. Saying no, not engaging in every argument or situation.
Don't engage.
And choosing what you allow in your space. Online and offline. I got them both.
Oh, you said that. Y'all quit arguing online with people.
So, I feel like I've learned to appreciate the people that I have in my life. And I've just created this little space. And I'm happy that we can come together now at almost 50 after being through every season. Elementary school, middle school, high school. I had to laugh at that. High school, college, marriage, everything, even the ups and downs, it still means something.
Right.
The relationship between us. And I'm happy about that.
Absolutely.
I'm happy about that. So we're going to let Shontae go because she has to hit the road. But I do want to thank you for just being a part of, this new chapter of me trying to put myself out there, a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just know we celebrate you, me and my family. Your friends, we celebrate you. We are rooting for you, even when you feel like, did y'all watch it?
Yes, because
I'm gonna watch it.
I'm going to check. Like,
but just know we are, rooting for you. We're proud of you.
Yeah.
Just keep saying yes. Keep saying yes. Keep doing it afraid.
Make sure I don't have anything else in my little. This is my little book. And do you
I'm
know why it's called?
I'm feeling it. I'm loving
Conversations.
I think I recall. It has to do with the tresses. Yes.
So I feel like, and I think like if somebody has a question of why it's called Cru Conversations, and the crew is my people. So it's like two. It's double meaning.
Okay.
So anyway, I feel like when I decided to let my gray hair grow, she just took over. I thought it was gonna be a little cute little ting-a-ling-a-ling, and she just took over. So I was like, she has to have her name. And I went through all of these different names, and I settled on Cru. Kind of like Cruella, but the nicer version.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what Cru Conversations mean, and
Love it.
where we are. So I thank you for watching.
Yes.
I'm gonna be checking to make sure you watch, and you too.
I'm gonna watch.
So thank you, Shontae, for coming, for having a glass of wine with me. We haven't had wine together in
Forever.
We used to go to the spa. Let me say, we used to go to the spa
Mhm.
quarterly,
Mhm.
and then she moved away.
You know another funny thing we used to do together, and they're not open anymore. Lifeway,
Girl,
and get the apple cider.
the apple.
Y'all need
the
to bring
hot.
that back. By the way,
That's why I bought all them self help books on purpose.
So
And none of
as
it
I
didn't
said,
work.
now I'm sure on my ride home, I'm gonna be sitting there like literally in a time capsule, just reminiscing
Yes,
of all
and
the
play
things.
private party, and I'm gonna play Brick House.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
I'm
you,
telling
Brick
you,
House,
it's gonna
for
hit.
being here. This was Cru Conversations.
Yes.
See you next time.